Now it's time to press buttons and talk with Manky and ProZD.
You can't see everything. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the biggest lesson?
Is that correct, Mr. Godo? Is that the biggest lesson?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Figured you'd probably know what the biggest lesson is. You seem like. The lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented.
This lantern? There's something written on it. Why? It's written in blood.
Nonsense. This lantern is as clean as a whistle.
Mr. Godo, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see, correct?
You don't need to rub it in.
It's relevant. You can't see red on a white background, can you? You can't. That's right. We went through this once before.
It's like those kid
I was gonna
red
say
glasses
Lunchables.
and
yeah.
you can see the red message
Oh
or
my God.
the
I got
letters.
them on Lunchables once, and it was the coolest shit.
That's some cool
secret
shit.
messages. During the poisoning case at Tribulations.
This is the apron that the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time, and somehow spilled coffee on. So much.
There's something still bothering me, Mr. Godo. Why have you not explained the bloodstain to the court?
Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be?
Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron.
That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a bloodstain. Running out of characters.
Yeah, I know. You could see the coffee on the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red.
Ha. It's strange. In a black and white photo, those letters would have appeared black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them?
So then, Mr. Godo, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you couldn't see the red writing on the lantern?
Hey, Gramps. Didn't you know? That's the reason why I don't drink red tea. Otherwise, I'd be like, there's no tea in here. It's just, invisible.
The big mystery finally solved.
Who took my tea?
And he doesn't drink Kool-Aid either.
You know, the first time I had red tea, I was like, who took my tea? Tea bandit!
I offered
And I
him
was
cherry
very
Kool-Aid.
embarrassed.
I offered him cherry Kool-Aid once, and he was like, "What are you doing with that empty pitcher?" And I was like, "What the fuck does that
And I was
mean?"
like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh shit.
I wasn't sure. Okay, I wasn't sure about it until now, but I just can't believe it. Prosecutor Godo is the murderer, but there's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth. Those guys will not shut up about the Kool-Aid thing. Is that really...
my favorite, but you know what's really good?
Guys,
It's strawberry.
this is not a
Or
good...
fruit punch.
Okay. Mr. Godo,
Lime's my favorite.
shut up. The defense at this time formally accuses you. Do you not...
Kool-Aid burst.
Do you not appreciate how heightened this... Like, this is a pretty dramatic finale. I wish you guys would respect that a little bit. No jokes this episode. Come on. You are the murderer of Ms. Elise Donim, also known as Ms. Misty Faye.
Kool-Aid's no joke, Buster.
It's hard to believe this may be true. However,
Ever have squeeze it?
once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you.
They had silly faces. They're like, brr, or like,
They're like, like, wee!
Ha! Squeeze it. Just make sure you don't fill out the indictment in red ink, Gramps. Otherwise, I'd be like, hey, what's this blank piece of paper doing here?
That'd be so funny.
And I'd yell at Bill, and I'd feel really bad about it.
Oh, we could do like sketch comedy about your... Oh.
Come on.
Oh.
How does a little graffiti make me into the killer? Besides, it's not like it's my name that's written there.
Objection! I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red.
This is rich. Do go on, try it.
The answer is right there at the crime scene. In the snow.
The snow? How so? How snowed? How
The snow.
low
How
was the
so?
snow?
Well,
Look at it blow.
for example, why did the killer move all that snow?
Let
Where
it
did
go.
it go? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If they wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not just take out just that area?
Yes, why didn't they take just that area? I said it right. Could it be?
Yes. The killer couldn't see the red blood that had seeped into the snow. And so, he had to remove all of the snow.
This is my favorite
it had
Dr.
to
Seuss
go.
book.
He couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area.
The blood was on the snow. It had to go.
Where is the
Objection.
snow? We do not know.
Isn't it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark?
Not a chance. Care to dance? The torches were all lit. They wouldn't have been able to see fine.
It seems
Would have been able to see fine.
that once again this trial has taken an unexpected turn, to say the least. Can you explain this, Mr. Godo?
Oh, shit. Man,
That's a really good book, though.
I gotta take a nap.
Wait just a minute. Wake up, guys. Come on. This is good shit. Maya.
Well, what is it, witness?
Mr. Godo isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the inner temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after that old bridge got fixed up.
Objection! Maya,
Hi. Huh.
you can't testify to something like that.
Why? What do you mean? I may not look it, but I'm... Eek!
After the murder happened, you didn't even exist.
She didn't? I'm afraid I don't follow.
Are you senile, old man? We established this just a little while ago. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh, that's right.
Please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick, please listen to me. Maya, do you plan to cover for Godo no matter what the cost? If that's the case, then I've got no choice. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. If it means we're going to hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her.
Ha! Nicely done, Wright.
Thanks.
Very well. Let's hear the witness's testimony. Please tell us what happened at the inner temple after the murder.
Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling and my spirit left me, as it were. But that little girl was there at the inner temple, too. After the incident. Pearlie was also stuck on the inner temple side that night. The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godo arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearlie first and cheered her right up. He's a good dude.
Who is this Pearlie?
Should call him Gudo. Gudo. That's my little cousin, Pearl Faye. You've seen her.
Oh, so when did you hear about this?
Many times you've seen her. Like what?
Today.
Oh, just a while ago, when I was in the medical office.
She the big lady?
Sometimes.
Okay, that's kind of confusing.
It's, I guess, in that sense, it is a little understandable.
I'm terribly sorry. But what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony.
What? Come on! Pearlie would never tell a lie. She's a way more honest person than I'll ever be.
That doesn't look
I'm lying
really
right
good for
now. Real smart, Maya. You always know the best things to say when you're under oath.
Ha! The prosecution has no objection. We believe the witness.
you. And Mr. Godo, of course you do.
Let's just move on to the cross-examination. If the defense has no objections.
I do love some objections, but not
This is highly unusual, but... Well, Mr. Wright?
Let's get this cross-examination started. So you got a bassist and a drummer up there, I see. Oh, and a vocalist. Wow, you guys are really assembling quite a band. Pearlie is also... Yeah, that's what we do. Okay, next morning she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bitch was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Goto arrived at the, okay. What's this? 'Cause that seems... So it was your first time on the Inner Temple side, Mr. Goto?
That's funny. Am I imagining things, or did the defense ask me a question?
I asked you a question.
Mr. Wright, please save your questions for the witness.
What? Okay. What you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. Those are your words, Your Honor.
Touche, Mr. Wright.
If I had known who I was doing an impression of, I would have done an impression of you.
Oh well, too bad. What do you have to say, Mr. Goto?
Bad impression.
Oh, I didn't do one.
Hot nights and even hotter coffee.
Woof.
That's what I always say.
Isn't that a life?
If it hadn't have been for this case, I never would have visited there. A freezing cold temple in the mountains? I think I'll pass.
So he had never visited the Hazakura Temple or the Inner Temple, huh?
Ha! You want to say something, Trite?
In any case, I have to find a crack in Goto's armor.
You'll never beat me.
While I cross-examine Maya, that is.
I have mega armor.
Very well, please go on with your testimony.
Where did he get mega armor?
I got the gravity gauntlet.
Oh.
After fixing the bridge, the policeman came over to the Inner Temple side, right?
Where did he get the gravity gauntlet? Yes, then Mr. Goto. He found Pearly first and cheered her right up.
Let's press that.
Okay. What'd you do? You did a little clown face? He cheered her up. That's what Pearly said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Goto.
And here I was thinking you were nothing more than a coffee addict.
Ha! Cut it out. You're making me blush.
This guy is really beginning to get on my nerves. It took
Really?
cases.
Now?
Yeah,
I've been trying for
this
5
This
cases.
is the moment that I'm finally like, I don't like this guy. In more ways than one.
The truth is, there aren't that many places to look on the Inner Temple side. The policemen were all busy going over the garden with fine-toothed combs.
Really need upgrades in their equipment.
So I decided to carry out an investigation in my own way. Goto style. Ba-da-bow.
From my trumpet again.
I'm the same way, give me that. I like to hand down verdicts in my own way. Judge style. Ba-dum-bum.
You have the trumpet now. Use the trumpet. Don't use your mouth.
What about
maybe I
this
should ask a
investigatio?
Yeah, tell us about Goto's investigatio. You said that you conducted an investigatio of your own. Did you find anything?
I didn't say investigatio.
I did.
Yes, you did. It was very confusing. It looks like my investigation went about as well as yours, Trite. After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern.
Well, I didn't miss it.
The bloody writing!
Speak for yourself, Goggles. You can't say that.
The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall.
I should call him Goggles. Beauty?
Misty Faye, naturally. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes.
Western tastes? Could he find a stranger way to describe Gravi?
So from there you headed for the prep room.
Wait a sec. What did Goto say just now? I think I just found his proverbial weak spot. If this was Star Fox, Slippy would be telling me about it. There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Goto when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the Inner Temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed Elise Donim. Okay, Pearly was
So let's go back.
Let's go back in time. Or we've started at the beginning again.
Oh, okay. So now, do you know it? Because I mean,
So they just mentioned the gravy.
yeah. So go back a statement, and then
When
go to your
he
evidence.
arrived for the first time.
Right.
Let me look at this.
Now, think about.
Oh, he wouldn't know who was on the thing. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Mr. Goto, the first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went into the Inner Temple was long before the murder took place. Why do you say that? Because he just made one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in the training hall.
hanging scroll.
In the training hall. But Mr. Goto is right. That scroll shows a picture of my mother. Maya, I know you know who it is, but here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this.
What's that wonderfully delicious smell?
Oh, I suppose I brought it in court today.
Old
It's still-
gravy, Your Honor.
it's
Why
been
would it
like
smell
a
good?
Day old. The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy. Gravy? But why gravy, Nick? Don't you mean like curry or something? Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. They loved gravy. It was a lifestyle. Well, Mr. Goto, is gravy a lifestyle for you?
That's a weird thing to ask.
I'm curious. If you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that it was Misty Faye. Do we want to break off into a final
Yeah,
episode?
let's take a break here, and we'll find out more next time.
I think next time's probably the final.
Maybe.
I don't know. You never know with this
You'll
game.
find out.
We'll see how
You'll
it
look
goes.
and see the episode screen, Gavin. It'll say either final or
Yeah,
number.
so stop
And you'll
whining
find
about
out
it.
tomorrow.
Stop screaming at me.
See you then.
Leave me alone.